Good morning. Yeah, I just think it's a joke. Biggest joke going. The bowler's got no idea about running a football club in this country at all. And I agree with Simon. It's a backward step. Frank is not a Premiership League manager at all. He should go down to the Championship and learn his trade properly. And Simon's right. He wasn't fit to go to Everton at all. I like the guy. I'm a die-hard Chelsea fan, but he's just not a Premiership manager at all.
Is he not the guy, though, Steve, that will pull Chelsea fans together, that will get everybody singing from the same hymn sheet?
Yes, the Chelsea fans he might pull together, but he won't pull the team together. He's got an appalling rate. That's why Abramovich got rid of him, because he weren't good enough in the second season. And then really, Everton stayed up because Simon's right, because there's three teams below them that were worse than them. So,
Steve, go on.
I also think if Potter had been sacked probably 10 days or so ago, they would probably took Tuchel back, because that's the fans wanted Tuchel. Why would you get rid of Tuchel for Potter?
I wouldn't have thought Todd Bowley and the rest would have Tuchel back, Steve. Steve, stay on the line, because here's Jason, another Chelsea fan, who takes another view to that. Jason, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I think that really it's a bit of an like it's been said, a bit of a no-brainer. The reports are coming out that Nagelsmann and Enrique don't want to come in until the summer because they want to have a full pre-season. The choices are, who do we keep? Bruno, who, as it's been said, I'm not saying he doesn't know anything regarding football, but he's a Potter man and felt uneasy. We could have probably ended up with Benitez if we hadn't got Lampard. And I think just to settle the ship like he did before, get him back in. He understands. If we get these other top targets that we're after, I don't see where the problem lies. And as for no disrespect to the other caller, that we would have got Tuchel back, I don't think that was going to happen.
That wasn't going to happen. For sure that wasn't going to happen. Steve, what did you take out of what Jason's just said?
Yeah, I can see what he's saying, but I still totally disagree. Actually, it might sound silly, but I would have kept Potter because we seem to do well in the Champions League. Beating Dortmund 2-0 was a good result. No one expected us to win that game, let's be honest. So he's doing well in the Champions League, and that's the only way we're going to keep, to win the cup and stay in that league. But now Frank won't do it.
Jason, do you think Frank can make an impact right away? I mean, as I said earlier, 11th. Who would have thought at this stage in the season Chelsea would be 11th? But they are. So the only way is up, right?
Yeah, and, if we're being honest about it, the season realistically, I know we got the Champions League, but the season's pretty much done and dusted. So now I think it's just about trying to, we're not going to get relegated and we're not going to get European football. I know we done it when Di Matteo was in charge, but let's be honest, that was a fluke, and we see how it went after. But I just think that by bringing him in, he's known around the club, people respect him, and whether or not they respect him as a manager, but they respect him as a player and as a person. I understand what that Steve was saying about Potter in the Champions League, but I really don't, let's be honest, we're not going to win it. We've got a real hard way to get. If we get past Real Madrid, we've got Bayern or Man City. So, we've got three potential top teams there that we'd have to try and get through. So just by having Lampard in there, and it's been said, while Lampard's there, they're still following up their top targets. So it's not like they're just sitting there idle. So if potentially we could get Lampard in the next week or so, we could announce the deal that Nagelsmann or Enrico, whoever it is taking over in the summer.
Right,
so I don't see it as a massive backward step myself. I just think it's like a sensible step for settling what's been a rocky road for us this season.
Okay, listen, thanks for the calls. Stuart, I'm coming to you in a second. Simon, it's probably what we expected. They're divided on it.
Sure, but I don't understand why there's this narrative that accepts that Nagelsmann and Enrique are not available to the summer. Who works for who? So in the mindset of a football club owner, if I want to, first of all, why would you want to come in the summer so you can have a pre-season to evaluate the players that you could have the rest of the season to evaluate, find out who you do and don't want, find out what the real characters are like. So when you head into the pre-season and you start to want to buy players and start to want to build the football club back for the ensuing season, you've had 10 games of a season where you get a pass anyway. So why wouldn't Chelsea be saying, we want you now, we're going to give you an incentive for coming in now, we're going to make an economic decision to do it now, we want you to come in and learn the football club very quickly, we want you to see the players that we've got in situ. So why is there tacit acceptance that Nagelsmann and Enrique will just decide when they walk in the door of one of the biggest football clubs in the world?
Do you honestly think Nagelsmann or Enrique would want to come in at a stage at Chelsea through no doing of theirs, City 11th in the Premier League?
Depends what's said to them and how it's said to them, and depends what the meaningful conversations you
Come
have
in,
with
it's
them.
damage limitation till the end of the season.
If I was on the other side of the conversation, I'd be sitting down with them if I was in that position and saying, right, these are the reasons why I want you in now. And this is the reasons why I need you in now. And this is what I'm going to give you to come in now. And this is what the pass you're going to get. And this is the backdrop we're going to build on the basis of you evaluating the players. So when we hit the pre-season, you're not gaining knowledge. You've gained it from the 2 months that you've got in the Premier League this season.
Stuart, Chelsea fan, is that fair, what Simon's saying? If they'd gone permanent now, whoever had retained it, Nagelsmann or Luis Enrique, say, would have been up to speed by the end of the season with what is in at Chelsea.
I think Simon's right, to be fair. First of all, I want to say, absolutely love the show, gents. Really do appreciate you taking my call.
Thanks, sure.
If I'm honest with you, I've been a Chelsea fan for 37 years now, and it's become a bit of a joke over the last 10, 20 years with the whole Roman Abramovich thing. I appreciate everything that the chairmen have done for us, and Todd's come in and spent all this money. But what's happening now is like Simon said, I think it's a bit of a step backwards in the fact that, we've got these two managers who could potentially be brought in, learn about the club, get everything prepared and ready for next season, which everyone was talking about. We've already written this season off, even though there's some stuff still to play. I just think that take the respect away as, Lampard, the legend. What has he actually brought to Chelsea as a manager? Not as a player, as a manager. One good season, which I appreciate because we had a transfer embargo. The second season, we spent lots of money and we still didn't proceed with anything. I just think it's a massive step back, and I just can't see as a Chelsea fan. Yes, to me, it looks like it's more of a cover-up. Look, we've had we've sacked two managers. The chairman's getting a bit of stick now with it, especially on social media, which you're going to get anyway. But now, what's the best thing to do? Throw a legend back in the mix, get the fans back on track. It's not going to do the problem. The problem is we cannot score. And I think that is the biggest issue that we've got at the moment. I think Lampard, respect to the man, but I don't think it's a good appointment at all.
Stuart, here's a school of thought for you that's just popped into my head as I'm thinking about this. The one thing Lampard was able to do was work with young players.
Yes.
What have you just gone and done over the last 6 months? You've bought a boatload of young players that are all at a certain age, all been stuck on long contracts. There might be just a moment in time while I'm trying to find an excuse for the Lampard uninspirational appointment, a circle being squared here where young players respond to Lampard because he's got that cachet and kudos of still being the player in their mind's eyes, and did it previously with the development of some of the younger players that he brought through the ranks into the first team because he had an absence of choice because he couldn't buy players in his first stint.
And sorry, I totally agree with you. In the perfect world, absolutely, I can see that him coming in and and bringing the likes of like another Reece James, Mason Mount through. But let's not forget, he's got 11 games. They've already made it very clear it's to the end of the season.
Yeah.
When you've got players that we've got at the moment, the youngsters, he hasn't got a pre-season behind him to bring them through like he did before. He has got 11 games to make decisions. He's got one of the biggest games of our season on Tuesday night, which leaves him 2 or 3 days to pick the right team. I just think what they've done is it's a panic. Oh crap, we can't get the manager in. And I honestly think it's because they don't know who to bring in. It's not the fact that there's many candidates, Poch, Enrique, obviously the Nagelsmann, absolutely fine, all could do a job. But it's because they know that they made a massive mistake with Tuchel, and we all know that there was issues behind, closed doors. I just think at the moment it's another panic move by Bowley, and I think, Simon, you're absolutely right. Yes, he could do with the young.
Well, Stuart, I mean, maybe Frank buys some time. There's a message coming in from Chris Bird, former director of Manchester City. Guys, I'm listening. Great show. Maybe now is Frank's time as the blue chip managers sit back and watch and plan for a new season when all the trophies are available to play for and they have no fires to fight. Just an opinion. Enjoying your show, 10:30.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.